Welcome to Colney Talk Podcast.
Hello and welcome. I hope you're doing well. You're listening to Colney Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Alex, with another bite-sized show for you here today. I'll be talking about Arsenal and Manchester game. It was the game against Manchester United wasn't the result we hoped for. We played well for the most part of the game. Even with the stats, it doesn't tell the whole story either. We didn't play with fear, which was very important. I think the way we came on to the game eventually was a good response. We handled so much of the pressure and the intensity that kept growing. And mind you, we were playing in Old Trafford. So we did manage that environment, the crowd, the noise. I think that was a very good mark of how the team showed up for the game. But the stats and the numbers, it just doesn't tell the whole story as to the full outcome of the game. We did lose 3-1. Some parts of the officiating and the ref, I don't think was really fair in some situations. Obviously, it did turn the tide or momentum, if you will, for how the game really turned around. We did score. The goal was canceled. I don't think our defense was to our usual standards, but nonetheless, we did played good. I wouldn't say great. Granted, we're playing in a very tense environment on a ground that we usually don't get very good results. But the players, I just was looking at how they played in the first half, especially, and it was very reassuring. I don't think we were intimidated. We did move and respond with how the game was kind of turning on us with the amount of passes and pressures and how they were, playing a lot of crosses into the box. We had good clearance in our box. We had efficient pressing when we had the ball, and we kind of transitioned from defending to, pushing forward to get into their own half. Yes, we had several missed chances. Ramsdale, I would say his lob passes, it is one of his best strengths. To his left, to his right, he does it so casually. But if you look at it closely, it is one of the comments that you hear during the game as to what a very nice lob pass and how it's just so precise. Saka, I think, not just him, but the other front players, they just need to hit the balls when they get the chances. Ruthlessness is something that they need to put now in front of them more so than anything. We're not there yet. I don't think we will be, but over time, I think this season is going to become more of that progression where we see them, just finishing it off in front of the goal. When they have the ball, they don't make too many passes. It's something I hope we will get to see better of. Speed did hurt us. We really got caught out in a few instances. Despite the performance, our finishes is the theme for the lessons learned of how we were in front of goals and just couldn't just take that shot. We don't really have to make it picture perfect of 1-2 passes, because when you have a lot of players in the box, you will always have very low percentage to convert that into a goal. So the game overall was a good watch. The result obviously wasn't what we would hope for. The stats, as I mentioned, we dominated for the most part of the game, 60%. Passes were even much higher than Manchester United, although our shots on target, our tackle successes, and our interceptions weren't. So that kind of tells you where the margins of how these results kind of turned. So talking about my top 3 players for this game, Jesus, absolutely brilliant in this game. He just muscled Martinez. Jesus is not shy wherever he is. When it comes to being in the box or way outside the box, he's not shy anywhere to get to the ball, contribute, be present to try to turn the ball around and just switch it to us pressing forward. He started the game really well. He's very inclined to the physical duels with the ball. He's very inclined to the physical duels with the ball. It comes, he gets the ball, he's just getting in the one-on-one duels with the center backs, often wins for a striker, and you do have a lot of other strikers doing that, but he just welcomes that a lot. There's a great sense of confidence that he brings to the front three when he does that, and it really puts them in a position to make movements that can get them into scoring positions. The equalizing goal came from Jesus, where he battled to score, and Saka came to clean it up. So again, that's his MO. That's how he operates. He gets in there, tries to really make them uncomfortable, and I really like seeing that from him. And he is consistently causes goal chances just as much as he fights to score them. That's just Jesus. And he's brilliant with that. He was such a huge goal scoring threat. He was just moving along with the boys and trying to make things happen in and around the box. He's a striker. That's what he does. But he does more than that. And there's just that swagger and confidence that comes with it. And everyone feeds off of that. And long may continue. I mean, I'm really hoping Eddie Nketiah, Martinelli, and Saka really buy more into this kind of physical battles that Jesus brings. It's not the same. They're not the same. They don't have the same physical composition of their body or anything like that. But it's good to see that they're not shy to get in one-on-one duels. And oftentimes it makes things go in their favor where there's this discomfort, or more so there's this nervous feeling that it brings to the center backs, because the opportunities where they do this duels once or twice and then there's a yellow card, and it's often to the favor of to the striker usually, but unless maybe something else happens. But I'll really hope that they kind of perfect that same idea of attacking. It is attacking, so that's good. The second guy from my top three, Martinelli, causing real problems as well. I mean, that's the position that he's expected to cause such of an influence from the offensive side of the ball. Winning so much one-on-one battles, beautiful goal, although it was cancelled. I mean, that was good to see. When we talk about finishes, that's it. Now we need more of those in and around the box, edge of the box. We hope for more of that. That raises the game to another level. And this goes to Martinelli, Saka, and Emil Smith-Rowe. So hopefully these boys continue building this. I know Eddie Nketiah, he's already on the high level of his finishing, the way he's playing already for the season. So it's good to have these other younger boys do the same. Martinelli had another chance with a header from Odegaard's beautiful cross, but the goalkeeper just cleared it out. But it was good to see, although Nelly seemed to be more of the heavier pressing from the center backs than Jesus, and maybe he seemed like an easier target, but when he got the ball, they really pushed him out. It happens often, I do see that, but he seemed to be the one that was easier target than Jesus would. Again, Jesus much stronger. He can manage the physical duels. Perhaps we should just shoot more from the edges if that's usually the situation, if those chances do come up. And I do welcome those chances to just shoot from the box, from the edge of the boxes. Not to go way out there flying to the stands, but really getting into those corner positions and situations that it can leak back out and then someone comes in and cleans it. But I really hope that we get to see these players. I really hope we get to see these players try to take the chances from the edge of the boxes more than really being closer, because oftentimes you have these defenders causing these blocks and those shots end up to just getting off to clearance and trying to reset again. Sometimes, even as I say this, it could be based on the instructions from Arteta when we see how they're playing, and he gives them the freedom to do what they need to. But maybe they are not so encouraged to shoot from the edge of the box. But as I watch the game more often and I see the way they play, these questions do come up. Where shoot, yes, is it perfect? No, not really. But they usually dribble to get inside the box, and it just kind of ends there, which is one of the reasons why I call it blunt finishes, where you get to the point where it's all blocks and they're not the tallest, where it's now more of a header or something like that. But I just hope that maybe we can take some more chances shooting from the edge of the box. I'm aware some attempts will get blocked, but we can use a few more of those shots. They create more opportunities, they create more threats, they create more uncertainty for these center backs because they don't know what would happen. Some of them would think their shots and it can turn the game around in different scenarios, but that's how I see it. Third guy, Odegaard, his passes put us in a very good offensive play. We maintained very good quality ball possessions against Man U in their half. He helped with the transition when we lost the ball, and Xhaka did a lot more of that. He was crucial in that role, switching transitions from defending to trying to press into their box to score. But I'm so glad that Odegaard gets to orchestrate the way we move the ball back once he gets it, and we kind of grow into repossessing the ball and pushing all the way up into their own ends and into their final third. It was good to see again, especially in the situation where usually our team will be playing scared, playing with less confidence, even though we're playing at Old Trafford, but it was not a factor. I like how we played. I like this influence that we brought into the game based on the quality, the way we were moving. We just stayed with the formation of the game plan. But I'll say this, I don't like how he takes too many passes in the box. It cost us a goal scoring opportunity. I remember that in the first half. Yes, he's in my top 3 today, but following a defeat and trying to respond, less is more sometimes in the box. I've said it for Martinelli, shoot outside, shoot from the edge of the box, but he has done, Martin Odegaard has done a few of this where there's one too many passes in the box. Just take the shot. It's easier to at least see you've taken that action than, not hoping that you can take it, but right, I'll say it this way. It's easier that we see you take that action and it didn't turn out great than missing it. He has missed several chances taking that final shot than a pass. He's a great passer. He does it really well. But in the box, I think this is one of those, growth and progression, or how these players are in sync with each other when they're in the opposition's box. Less is more. 1-2 shots, it does create something. 1-2 shots creates more opportunities. We have our players are able to clean it up. A few more of that makes it very incisive passes, but that's one of my takeaways from how I saw Odegaard playing this game. So it's not a bad thing as how he plays his game with his passes, but when it comes to, it's not a bad thing, but it's also good to kind of have a good balance. When you get into the box, be very ruthless. You just many more shots create more opportunities. Even if it's a block shot, in some ways it could cause something. So there we have it. Now the other guy today, I was debating between Saliba and Lukonga. Now I didn't choose Lukonga because he is still trying to grow in this role that isn't really what he's groomed for. As we can see, he played okay. He was out of position. We were out of position because we lost our shape. But the other guy today was Saliba. To me, he got caught out a couple of times. That led to the other 2 goals that we conceded. It could be anyone, but today the other guy was Saliba. Again, as I mentioned, with the way I nominate these players, it could be just 1 or 2 things. And if you're the guy that had, I guess in this situation, many more mistakes than the other players, then you're that guy. At least the way I kind of would evaluate that. So Saliba to me today is the other guy. We did lose our shapes in some of these miscues and mistakes. It killed the tempo. What I would want to say from this though is that I hope we learn a lot from this mistake. I hope we learn how we can contain our presses. They say, yes, this is the casualty of a high press. That's true. But you keep your shape, you get some out of jail free card by offsides or different placements, especially when you have some of these playmakers that can find an opening and they create something. That's how they take advantage of these high presses. I'm just really hoping that we take a lot from this game as far as our mistakes go and do better. Ball watching, missing out on slip bys, it is very damaging. And one of the effects of not having a Marshall as our CDM in the game, like Partey, is things like this, really having someone be the tip of that spine or making sure that we maintain our shape. So there we have it. I'm curious though to know who we were looking for as the perfect backup to Partey, because I'm kind of looking ahead. We've all had these conversations. We did look for that guy or hope we got someone in the transfer window. That's all done now that it's the window shut. It's a far dream for the next window next year, but it will be really interesting to see who this guy will be, if he can possess the same mentality of high defensive acute awareness to when things like this happen. Because you have to, I look at it that way, where we had this slip-ups. Who would be that guy that can be able to help us get quick alert in situations like this, help us with ball-saving moments, help us stop situations that would hurt us this badly where we lose the game. So we'll wait for that later. But for now, that's my summary of the game. That's the way it really all turned out. It's one of those dreadful games where you really wish that wasn't the result that came about. So yeah, we move on. We move on to the next game. We do have Europa games coming up. Now there's going to be so much more attention to our bench players. We're still light with injuries, and there's so much of interest to see Vieira play and some of the other guys. I'm really excited to see Nketiah play because he has maintained his level of a new, better playing style, and it's good to see him really shine in Europa leagues. But I know now that some of these teams that we play, they should never be overlooked. Last year was a great reminder with so many many upsets and teams that we thought will be a walkover, and they turned around and did the opposite to those teams, and the big name teams, if you will. So that will be something we'll look forward to in our game. We're playing FC Zurich, so we'll talk more about that. But that's it for today. I hope you enjoy this very short podcast. Please share with your friends. The idea is just to give you a really nice bite-sized review of how this game turned out and my opinions and who I pick out, and just hope it's fun for you as it is for me. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoy the Colney Talk podcast. Share it with your friends. Catch you on another episode. Take care. Bye for now.